Okay, well, this has been a mess trying to get this whole live stream going, but looks like I'm only 8 minutes late. I don't know what I did wrong, but they were trying to give me this updated YouTube thingy for the live stream and a whole bunch of menus I didn't recognize. And I was like, holy cow, I don't know what's going on, but here I am. I missed out on the premiere on Friday. I apologize for that. I was helping out a neighbor with some stuff, and all of a sudden I said, whoa, it's 4 o'clock. I guess I missed that. So I missed it, and I apologize. I'll be honest, I just totally forgot. So yeah, I'll come back and I'll try and do a live or a premiere again where I can join you actually live. So anyone who missed out that last Friday can get that experience, I guess. So thank you for those who did show up, and I apologize again. So I'm doing this as a sort of a substitute. I haven't done a live stream in a long time, but I just felt like it. So and I felt like I should make up for that. So here I am, live talking type thing. Let's see, I've got a couple notes written down. I finally got a word on what I'm teaching this upcoming year. We finally, thank God, finally have a science teacher. So I will not be the only science teacher, because I don't know what our school district would have done. But the person we found is going to be teaching 7th and 8th grade science and biology. I will be teaching, let's see, chemistry, computer science, STEM. Trying to remember what I've said already. Physical science. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Oh, junior high STEM. So I'll have 5 different preps. So I'm back up to the level I was back when I used to teach in really small rural schools. Hey, Crafty Doodles, glad to have somebody here. This has been a circus getting this started, so I'm glad you're here and put up with all this. So yeah, I'll have quite the schedule this upcoming year. So I've got to start preparing over the summer. And now that I know what I'm teaching, I can actually start doing that. So yay for me. Hey, Brian Stearns, good to have you here. Thank you, Crafty Doodles. The pen videos are a lot of fun. This is just an extra that I'm doing right now. I've got a couple other things written down. My parents were just here to visit. They spent about a whole week, which I think is the longest visit they've ever done here. I won't say we did lots of exciting things, but I got them out and about. We went up to the Badlands, saw some buffalo. And it's green, which is rare for this time of year. You know, usually it's very brown this time of year. We don't have lots of rain in July, but we did this year. So they got to see the Badlands green in July. And I put them to work outside. You know, T. Sherbs asked if they drove or flew. My parents drive. My mother doesn't like to fly. So I did a lot of digging out that window. And they did a lot of weeding and trimming out that side of the house and that side of the house. So, yeah, their work was welcome. I made sure I left them some work to do because, you know, they're young enough that they still want to feel like they're useful, but old enough that, you know, I have to stop and think, oh, is that really something I want to have my father's almost 80 actually do? My mother is in her mid-70s. So, yeah, it was good. I left work for them to do that I probably could have done, but it was nice to have them do it and nice to see them doing it. Hey, Desmond O'Neill, good to see you. And Louise, oh boy, McConaughey, glad to have you here too as well. So yeah, probably not the most exciting parent visit, but I got them out. I really, really want to take them down to the Black Hills. I've got a few ideas down there, but they weren't interested. I want to take them to Lead to the museum that's there, but they just said, that sounds really boring. So took them to the Badlands instead. So I will be probably going to Lead this week because it's going to be really hot here. So why not travel? Hey, Juan X, glad to have you. Other exciting things. The week before they came, I batch filmed 9 different first impressions. A lot of those pens are now empty. But yeah, I am set with first impressions till after school starts. I just pulled out a viewer gave me a bunch of Indian and Chinese pens. I just separated them out. I'm going to be filming a bunch of first impressions of the Indian pens, and I'm going to start looking at the Chinese ones. Hey, wow, how do I pronounce that? Monolithus. Sorry. And Andrew Brendan from Bloomington, Indiana. Hey, really cool to have you. I am about 40 degrees cooler than you are right now. But my parents, fun fact, spent last night in Elkhart, Indiana. So they were in your state today. They're probably out of it by now. Just mono. Okay, that sounds better. Do my parents know about my pens and video channel? I haven't really told them about it. I don't know if they'd understand the whole YouTube thing. So rather than confuse them, I just say, yeah, I have fountain pens. I showed them, let's see, I showed them this Kitab. I showed them, where are they all? I showed them this guy, the Selector. Oh, yeah, this is so pretty. It's not showing up super well on this camera, but God, that's a pretty pen. So I showed them that, and I showed them a couple other vintage pens, so they know I restore pens. Comma Clear, you taught in Fessenden? Wow, because I actually taught in Harvey for 1 year, so that is cool that we taught so nearby. Kind of curious what subjects you taught. Crafty Doodles, what do they think of them? Actually, they were kind of impressed with the pens. Those two in particular are just really impressive. I also showed them a Toes, and they just said, that's nice, Jason. But yeah, they were impressed. My father, well, they both grew up with fountain pens. They're both born in the 40s, so they kind of came in at the tail end of the fountain pen era. My mother came in at the beginning of the ballpoint era, but they both used fountain pens. They know what they're all about. My father has more affection for fountain pens than my mother. My mother really could care less about fountain pens, but she can appreciate a pretty pen. So I always write to them with fountain pen. They usually write back with email, but hey, you know what? They're joining the 21st century. My mother for years didn't even know how to operate a computer. So the fact that she's finally emailing is pretty awesome. Let's see, what else is on my subject? Oh, repairs. I was going to bring up I have a box about 8 pens. I've got lined up for repairs, and doggone, I didn't grab it, so I'll have to go dig that out. Let's see. Oh, I wrote India, China. Oh, history. Okay, I'm trying to think. I knew a few teachers in Fessenden. I don't know if I knew you. I taught in Harvey. Would it have been I'm trying to think what year it would have been. 2006? Okay, maybe spring of 2006, fall 2005. I only lasted there 1 year for reasons. Hey, Radil and Vahiri Royal, good to have you here. Let's see. Anyway, I wrote about India and China. I had a couple viewers send me some pens to review, and so I separated them out into the India and China. I'm going to do the Indian ones first and kind of intersperse my vintage pens, but yeah, it'll be fun. Hey, Comet Clear, I'm glad to hear a few people remember me. I will confess that my year in Harvey was not one of my best years of teaching. It's one of those years I wish I could write off. It just didn't click with the town, didn't click with the students. It was just kind of not a good match. Ni hao. Good to have you. Got a dash, but keep. Okay, thank you. George Orwell. He wrote about an ink. Was it an ink pencil in his book? I don't remember. But I kind of wondered because he wrote Winston Smith felt like he had to write on his diary with a real nib. And I kind of wondered if he was talking about ballpoints or something. I need to reread that book. I don't know. I hate this shirt. I just looking at myself in the camera, and the shoulder is way down here and it should be actually on my shoulder. This shirt is flipping huge. Yeah, okay, thank you, T-shirt. So he used a fountain pen because he didn't want to use an ink pencil. That sounds right. Okay, so they do co-op sports now. That is cool. I know they wanted to co-op football the year I left, and they decided, let's not go that route for whatever reason. So glad to hear they're doing that now. Luke M, good to have you. Andrew Brendan, glad to have you as well. Let's see. The rest of my list, I uploaded a garden video earlier today. I wasn't one of my best. I don't know what I did wrong, but the whole camera, just all the audio was white noise, like you're not on the channel on your TV. And so I had to add the narration later, and there were some weird things. I just like, why did I spend so long on this flipping ash tree and things like that? But got my July update of the garden in, and hopefully I'll do a better update soon for August, where I'll actually have crops. So that should be fun. Weather. A couple people always ask about weather. It is right now about 66 degrees, and the kitchen is, or not the kitchen, I don't know where I was headed with that. Anyway, the thermostat over there for the heat for the house is 70 degrees. So, yeah, but it's 66. Oh, I know why I said kitchen. 66 degrees outdoors. Yeah, we had quite the storm this morning. It was great sitting in here. I love sitting here watching and listening to the rain and the thunder. Especially it kind of sort of came in. I had to close my east windows, which is rare. They're open now, but yeah, I had to close the east windows because it was coming in those. Just great. Let's see, 108 in New Jersey. I know that's coming here. That is part of our summer, but yipe, longer I can put that off, the better. How long do I run my soaker hoses? Soaker hoses seem to work pretty quickly. I usually go like 20 or 30 minutes with those. The drip tape I'll run about an hour because that's a lot slower than the soaker hose. 66 degrees. Yeah, I'm really lucky. North Dakota is not part of the heat wave that's hitting the United States at the moment. We will get hot this week, but it won't be part of this heat wave, so I am really happy about that. So I am sorry for all of you in Texas and whatnot. Anywhere on the East Coast or the middle of the country where you're getting the heat. We are above it. So, yay. Tomorrow will be good, and then it'll start to heat up after tomorrow. I don't know, Comet Clear. The North Dakota Badlands are quite different from the South Dakota Badlands. I don't know if they're more spectacular. They're just very different. They're a lot more rounded. The South Dakota Badlands are more pointed. I'd say there's more forest in the North Dakota Badlands. I don't know if I really want to compare them. I'd almost say that they're just two different animals. But yes, I love the North Dakota Badlands, and I'm very happy living in them. I'm actually really short distance away from them. So, taking my parents up to the North Dakota Badlands was just a real short day trip. 113. Yeah, that's a hot day. We haven't had that here. Wing Sung 313. I don't think I've tried that pen yet. Glad you like it. And $10, yeah, for a vac filler, that's pretty awesome. So I'm glad you're liking that. Let's see, I am running low on topics I left in my in my notes for my live stream. So I'm glad a few people have shown up here. It looks like there's 33 people here right now, so that's kind of fun. I laid my pens out here in case I got bored. This is my Visconti Mirage. I was really unhappy was it yesterday I found this part, this finial had actually popped out. It was just kind of laying in my pen case. I was just like, wow, seriously, for a pen I spent that much on? It writes well, but that's just disappointing. Have I read Boots and Saddles? No. That would be interesting. General Custer's wife certainly had a lot to put up with. Being married to that guy, what I understood, he was quite something in the Western Plains. Let's see. Dean Martin, good to have you. 3 friends over, so I have 35 viewers. I'm not sure how. Oh, okay. Sorry, doing the math. Yeah. And by magic, it actually says 35 right here, so that's good. Do I think I'll end my teaching career in North Dakota? Financially, I think I probably will. I'm 20 years of teaching, I'm very vested in North Dakota's retirement system. So, I feel like I need to finish out at least that part of my career here. Now, after that, it is tempting, take early retirement here and then go teach in another state. I might very well do that. We'll see. But yeah, I've definitely got to minimally finish out my early retirement here because it just would be financially stupid not to. I'm 43 years old, and was it 13 or 14 more years, and I'll be able to take early retirement. So, yeah. And how can you argue with class sizes here? I mean, where I teach, we're the right combination of big enough and yet small enough. So, yeah. Let's see. Luke says his order of 313 did not come yet. Apparently they were defective. Good to know that. I guess I'm glad I didn't jump on that early. And T. Sherb says plenty more of them. Wow, is early retirement still a thing? Well, that'll be interesting. Right now they have a teacher shortage here, so they're trying to discourage teachers from retiring. At one point, it was a thing just to get teachers to retire so they didn't have to pay into their retirement fund as much. But now that we have this teacher shortage, yeah, I think the encouraging early retirement is disappearing. And, since it'll be minimally 13 years till I can get there, it may very well not be a thing when I get there. It's set in the Dakota Territories. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to remember. Custer had a fort. I don't think it was in North Dakota. I want to say it was in South Dakota where he lived. But yeah, I'm sure I would like it. It's interesting. Dakota, A Spiritual Journey. I'm looking that way because I feel like that book might be on my shelf. Not one I've read yet. We had to get used to waving at every car coming the opposite way on the road in North Dakota. Yep, that's a thing. You just, hey! Because except during the height of the oil boom, yeah, you don't see that many cars on the highway. So, yeah, just kind of a, hey, I'm acknowledging you. And yeah, that is kind of a neat, fun thing about North Dakota. My parents haven't figured it out. Fort Lincoln. Okay, I have been there. Yes. Fort Lincoln. Okay, should have known that. Yes, they've got quite a lot at Fort Lincoln. That is definitely worth visiting if you're ever in the Bismarck area. Well, heck, maybe I should just take my camcorder there and take the channel to visit Fort Lincoln. Thank you, Sarah. That is a good idea. Yeah, Fort Lincoln near Bismarck. I'm trying to think if I have any photos there. My visit there was kind of unexpected. I was just there and I thought, oh, Fort Lincoln, and didn't bring anything. I feel like I was at a meeting or something. It's been a long time, so yeah, I may not have even had the channel yet when I did that, or I had the channel and just wasn't uploading much. Hey, Pierre Gustafson, glad to have you all the way from Boston and Minnesota. I've run dry on my whole list of topics, so I'm now trying to figure out what to say. Hey, Peggy, I should donate all my pens to you. Well, after I'm dead, that might be a good place to put them because I don't know what I'm going to do then. Right now, though, I'm enjoying them too much to donate them to anybody, but I am looking at doing a giveaway real soon and perhaps put a few up for sale. Unjuan Ickes, a quick and unrelated question. When do you think the best diamine ink? What is the first name that comes to your mind? I don't have a lot of experience with diamine ink. I'll admit I really like their Sargasso C. Just a beautiful blue, and it does some really cool sheening in the right pen. That's what I have in this Kitab right now. It just, as soon as I saw the pen, I thought seaweed laying on the ocean and put Sargasso C in it as a result. Comet Clear asks, which of the biggest North Dakota cities do you like best, least? I'll admit I haven't been to all of them. I've been through Grand Forks, sort of, but don't call me an expert on Grand Forks. I'd say Fargo's probably my favorite. It just has an amazing downtown. Minot is trying with its downtown. Bismarck is starting to try with its downtown. I'd say Minot, maybe second from Bismarck or from Fargo. Probably my least favorite. I just can't get excited about Williston. That's my closest one. I'm not super thrilled with Bismarck either. That's even closer than Williston, come to think of it. That's only 90 miles away. Dickinson just doesn't have enough. It's just not enough people or anything, and it's struggling to fit the big city role. But yeah, downtown Fargo is a lot of fun. Let's see. Sarah, I'd love a video of Fort Lincoln. Well, I will have to get back up there. It's not that far. It's only about 3 hours away. And General Custer and his men planted the first trees at Fort Lincoln. Ooh. Yeah. Trees here pretty much, except in a few places where we have forest, trees here pretty much are planted. Like they magically grow in straight lines or in square shapes because they were around ranch houses. They don't natively grow in a lot of places here. Trade collections, I don't know about that. Do I ever give my pens individual names? I really don't. I'll call that Central Pen 100820 my baby, because it really is my baby. But here's one of my all-time favorite pens, empty of ink at the moment. It's a Aurora 88. I love writing with this pen, but it doesn't have a name. It's just the pen I pick up because I love writing with it, and we'll be writing with it soon. In fact, expect to see it in Pens in Use this week, because the only reason it's sitting here empty is because I thought, oops, I got to film, and didn't get time to fill it. Alex Pestikov asks, oh, no, he doesn't ask. Glad to see you. This is your furthest viewer from the Urals. Yeah, you are probably about as far away from North Dakota as you can get. So glad to have you. Favorite pen, paper, ink combination? It depends on what I'm doing, honestly. My Lamy 2000 is kind of my favorite for business type writing, where I'm writing like my novel or just writing seriously. This right here that I just held up by coincidence is one of my almost favorite pens. It's a vintage Aurora 88. As far as paper, I write a lot of the novel stuff in Kokuyo paper. If I'm writing letters or trying to make it look nice, I like Tomoe River paper. As far as ink, if I'm writing, again, business, serious, this or a Lamy Black, which I don't see a Lamy up here. But another fun one, is the Sailor Gentle Epinard. This is kind of a combination of fun and really businesslike. High from the almost center of the continental U.S. Trying to think. That would be, is that Belle Fourche, North Dakota? Or I'm sorry, South Dakota? Because Belle Fourche, I'm trying to remember. Belle Fourche is one thing. Rugby, North Dakota is the other. Belle Fourche, South Dakota, is that the center of the United States? And Rugby, North Dakota is the center of of North America? I'm trying to remember. So you spaced out for a while. The Aurora 88 brought you down to Earth. Did I mention what nib I have in it? You know, I don't know what nib. I think it's a semi-flexible. It has this black circle with a white dot in it. It does really well. See how I can show this. This camera is kind of a weird one. But yeah, it's got just enough flex to be fun. Peggy Williams, what is the name of your novel going to be? I have not named it yet. Titles are something I struggle with. One of my students suggested Cripple Boy from Space, which sounds horrible. The hero of the novel walks around with the aid of crutches and leg braces, so you know he does have trouble walking because his legs were crushed when he was young. I'm not going to call it Cripple Boy from Space. I don't know. You know, I thought about the breaking yards to get into the whole idea of breaking spaceships apart when they're old, but I haven't really decided yet. Titles struggle for me. Comet Clear asks, was it hard to integrate into North Dakota town life and cliques? Church attendance is big, right? Yeah, every town I've lived in, it is slow to break in. You just feel like an outsider just because you're not from there. Nice thing about the town I live in now is it does have a large population from outside. We have a very large Hispanic population here, for example. This is probably a town I fit into the best, which maybe that's why I've lasted here so long. It's probably been the most welcoming town I've lived in. Church attendance. This is probably the least churchy town I've lived in. There are 4 churches, of course, in town. There's a Catholic, a Methodist, a Lutheran, and Assembly of God. Oh, yeah, and a, Seventh-day Adventist, which is really small. I guess I still am vaguely involved with a Presbyterian church, which is located way out in the country. They've actually been really welcoming to me as well, and that's especially interesting when you figure out what my religious beliefs actually are. But yeah, they're happy to have me. Okay, rugby. Yep. Rugby actually had a big competition with, what was that little town called? Robinson. I guess the town of one of the bars in Robinson bought up the trademark, is that what it's called, for being the nation's center. And for a while, this bar in Robinson, which is a tiny, tiny town of like 100 or 200 people, was claiming to be the nation's center. And they fought over it until I guess the bar owner relented and let rugby have it back. But he got to have his little moment in the sun. Robinson, Illinois. I'll bet that's a lot bigger than Robinson, North Dakota. Just going out on a limb there. Brian Stearns, Matahari's cordial. Yes, I love Matahari's cordial. It's not even a rational love because I know the ink has a lot of faults, but it's just something about it. I don't know if it's the World War I reference or what, but I just love that ink. I've used Borealis Black. It's very black, but it does tend to feather a bit. Andrew Brendan. Oh, you're getting the title from the Texas story. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I should look at that. I will have to play with that. Yeah, I'm working on typing it and basically rewriting certain key parts, so it's been slow, but I have a goal. I don't know if I get there, but I have a goal of getting it all retyped and entered by fall, so I can just edit it and eventually, I don't know, publish it in some form, whether I self-publish or try to send it off to a real publisher. We'll see. Namaste from South India. I know that's in reference to something, but I can't figure out what. Baptists on every corner around here. There was a Baptist church a long time ago. It is now a church for a Christian camp up near Medora. It was moved on the road, however many miles that is, 60 miles north, 30 miles west, something like that. But yeah, no Baptists around here. It just, around here, it's more the main line. Lutheran is big in North Dakota. Catholic is big. You don't hear much about Baptists. Peggy Williams, close to Olney, Illinois. Don't know Olney either. But white squirrels, yeah, I'm a big fan of squirrels. You may have seen my photo on my community tab where I talked about squirrels. I photographed myself at Castleton, North Dakota, at their high school. It's Central Cass High School. Their mascot is the squirrels. So I guess I don't know how to put a photo in here, but page through my community tab, there it is. I had a lot of fun, just that whole notion. I don't know if I'd want to live in Castleton. It's kind of a rich town, and I think I've lived in Redneckville too long to survive well in Castleton, but still really cool to photograph myself with the squirrel mascot. May have to get some water here in a minute. Next Grail pen. I'll tell you exactly what that next Grail pen is. It is a Platinum Izumo. And the specific one I want is it's from the Nibsmith. It's based on a temple. Let me just quick look here. Hopefully I'm still online. It's a Platinum Izumo. It's got a coarse nib, which is Platinum's version of double broad. And I'm still off the live stream, but I think I can find it super quick. Okay, here we go. I wish I could do a screenshot because then I could show you the exact pen, but it is what it is. And there we go. Platinum Izumo Yakumo Byakudan Makie. Only $880. And now I'm looking to find my live stream again, whichever tab I have that open on. Not those tabs. Okay, found it. All right, so yeah, that is my Grail pen at the moment. I had a whole list of Grail pens at Christmas, and I have not purchased a single one of those pens, but the list really dried up since then. I bought a Chinese pen that kind of modeled that draw filler, or what was it? It was a clear demonstrator. Anyway, I bought a Chinese pen that cured my interest in that. Stefan Feinen, guten Abend from the far west of Germany. Good to have you. I don't read Chinese characters real well, so I don't know what to call you, but you have one and you like the finish. You dislike their extremely hard nibs. You have a broad nib in it, which is a Western medium at best. Okay. Yeah, I actually have this isn't it, but this is a Platinum President. Yes, the nib is very hard, but I love this nib. It writes extremely well, and I kind of think a coarse nib would be a lot of fun. I'd probably get the same grind in at that cursive italic. Andrew Brendan. I'm reluctant to order things I don't know that I was to record a few dollars of sales tax from book catalog purchases on me. Oh, yeah, $300 fine. That would scare the hell out of me. Hey, Abdiel Acosta, welcome. If you're in Miami, you're probably looking at these high temperatures and laughing because that's normal for you. Pen BBS 355, that's it. Yes, I have one. I love it, but holds the ink a long time, and it really made me think that still can't remember what the actual name of the pen I'm thinking of is. But anyway, I just decided, I'm probably not going to use it the way I should. It just holds too much ink. Your name is Faye Tim, and it means fat nib. Oh, I remember you saying that to me before. Faye Tim, fat nib. Yeah. So you would probably enjoy this broad with the cursive italic grind on it. Let me show that. For some reason, it's asking if I want to show or hide your comment, but that's definitely one worth showing. Peggy Williams, I seem like a fun guy. If you met me in person, I'm socially awkward, but since we're interacting on a computer, I guess I'm better at it. I'm okay in front of students, but yeah, definitely I'm socially awkward. Renee Perron, Pacific Northwest. That is a gorgeous area. That is on my bucket list of places I want to visit. I want to see a temperate rainforest. I just love the pictures I've seen from Washington and Oregon. Conid Bulkfeller. Thank you, Tim. That's the one. Patrick. I am struggling here. Taylor. Sorry. I'm sure I butchered that. Guten Abend. Good evening. That sounds a lot like German, but okay, you're speaking, well, not German. Dutch? I'm not sure what language that is. Thanks for all my great work. I'm glad you enjoyed. I'm really glad you enjoyed that enough video. That one was, I recorded the audio for it twice. I was very uncomfortable with it and not sure, even the second time, do I publish or do I just wait a week? So I'm glad you enjoyed that. Andrew Brendan, even if money was not an object, what is the highest price you're willing to pay for a pen? Saw a diamond encrusted pen for $1.4 million. No way. Yeah, I agree. I've seen some of those pens. Was it Pens and Tea did a video recently about some of those fantasy pens, and I don't know. I have spent too much on a pen. I mean, here it is. This is the most expensive pen in my collection. I still question whether this was a good decision or not. Love writing with it, but then I think, it's not inked up right now. My Platinum 3776 with a soft fine nib. Same nib, just doesn't have that Nikaya on it. It doesn't have the fancy ebonite finish. And I just question myself. But, yeah, a lot of those really expensive pens, they move beyond the artisanship that's on this one into, what's a good word for it? Conspicuous opulence. Is that a good term? It turns me off. So I don't know if there is a dollar amount, but I think there is a point where I just say, ew. I've looked at a few of the Nikayas and other pens where, like, there's some really cool dragon art I've seen on a few of them. I've just thought, wow. Don't know if I could justify it right at this minute, but I would love to have one. But then I see some of those others and I just say, ew. I'm at heart pretty simple. I think you can tell just looking behind you. I mean, oh, there we go. There's no trim on this window at the moment. I've lived here 6 years with no trim. I've had other things I've chosen to spend my money on besides that. I'm simple. There's no baseboard in here. There is trim around the door. Don't get seasick. Promise, don't get seasick. But, I did put trim around the doors, and I do eventually want to put in some baseboard but right now I've been saving up for a roof. I just can't talk myself into spending that much on a pen right at the moment. Maybe someday, but yeah, there's a point where you just say, okay, really? But I can't put a dollar amount on that. Andrew Brendan says artisanship to decadence. Yeah, I agree. There's a point where it's just decadence. I just can't get excited about it. Comment clear. Am I the only Democrat in Bowman? Only half joking. No, I'm not the only one, but I'm not even always a Democrat. I don't always agree with the Democrats on things. Fun thing in North Dakota, we don't have voter registration, so I'm whatever I want to be. I just vote for who I choose. Yeah, but yeah, the Republicans basically run this state for better or for worse. Ruben Dunnins, how is the stipula etruria doing? Okay, it's not over here right now. It's doing it. It'll write for about half a page, and I have to screw the piston down, squirt more ink into the feed, or let it sit overnight. I don't know what the deal is, but it's doing a lot better since I replaced the feed from what it originally came with. So I guess that's good. I decided I could live with it as is and just make it work, if that helps. Stephen Finan says, Pens and Tea just released a video about the 5 most. Yep, that is the one. And yes, there is not a pen on that list that is even in my fantasy world. My fantasy world is mostly Nikias and a Platinum Izumo. What's my most desirable pen for today? That would have to be that Platinum Izumo with the Byakudan. Let me go back to the link here. The Yakumo Byakudan finish. Let me just let's see if I can throw this in as a comment. I'll throw the link in as a comment. There we go. I did it. All right. Sakaro Kamisato. Hi, Mr. Squirrel. Are you going to be paring down any pens this summer? Yes, I am. I have a giveaway scheduled. Maybe I should go grab them. I haven't published it yet, but I will be doing a giveaway this summer. And I also have a few pens that I have not collected together, but I've kind of looked through it's over there, my notebook of pens that I've used and inked regularly. And I've said, you know what? You don't use these, let's sell them. So yes, I will be paring the collection down. In fact, I was going to do a driving video on curating a collection today, but things didn't work out, so I didn't get to it. Am I aware of any vintage pens from the Caribbean? No, I'm not, but if you know of any, I'd be interested to know. I was very excited to buy an Israeli/Palestinian pen. Kind of cool. This is actually meant for both the Israeli and Palestinian market. Film Wasteland. Oh, I missed the chat. You should schedule those. Yeah, I think I put a comment somewhere, but I tried scheduling a chat once and then I couldn't actually get into it. So there's something I'm doing wrong, and I don't know what, but that's why I don't schedule them. I just announce them in videos. Max asks Coke or Pepsi. Tell you the truth. Actually, I like red wine, but if I'm going to drink something unhealthy, it's wine, red wine. This happens to be rosé because who knows why, but that's what I bought. I don't drink soda. I haven't had soda in probably 10 years. So I don't really have a horse in that race. Um, my main drinks are coffee and water. And then, like I said, if I'm going to drink something unhealthy, usually it's red wine, but right now apparently it's rosé. What is the meaning behind the name of my channel? Well, when I was in college, I was trying to impress a girlfriend. We had a problem in our classical mechanics class because we were both physics majors about a skier going down a hill and all the energy transforms and how fast they're going to be going at the bottom of the hill. And one of the things you do is you draw a free body diagram for problems like that to show all the forces. So rather than draw a box, I drew a squirrel skiing to make her laugh, basically. And Waski Squirrel took off from there. The Waski part is actually based on my last name because I'm Polish. I have a few more syllables in my last name than Waski, but Waski will make a good start for a last name. Let's see. Let me get back here. Tim Drowned. Yeah, you may have actually driven through my town. My town is on the way to a lot of things. One of my father's friends was actually vacationing in the Black Hills, and as a family, they decided, we haven't been to North Dakota. We're so close, we should visit it. And they came up here, and they were just starting to get scared because there was just nothing and more nothing and more nothing. And they finally found a town after they crossed the border into North Dakota, and they grabbed the first motel room they found. And they were so happy to find it because it had been so long since they'd seen any kind of civilization. That's how a lot of people find my town. I won't say we're on the edge of the earth, but you can definitely see it from here. Let's see, film Wasteland, Wastes film. Yeah. Oh, if you shoot on film cameras, yeah. If you saw the video I filmed from my channel that never makes it to broadcast, yeah, I'm glad it's not on film. Luke M. That is why I do not own any Italian pens. They're expensive and you're not even sure if they're going to write. I think that depends on the brand. Without bad-mouthing any brands, there are certain brands that have a reputation for that and others that do not. I've always had very, very good luck with this brand. But there are certain other brands which I may have shown during this video which I have not had good luck with. Houston, Texas. Awesome. TJ Jones. If I won the lottery, I'd buy Montegrappa. Game of Thrones. Winter is here. Montegrappa is one of those brands. I have one. It's actually on my list of pens that I'm considering selling. I like it. It's pretty. Can't get too excited about it. Brian Stearns, rarely around for chats. Usually working, but it's fun to be part of this one. Hey, glad to have you. I usually miss the live streams as well. And then my trouble with live streams is they kind of ebb and flow, and sometimes you're just like, oh, come on, just end. But other times you're doing something, they're just kind of the perfect background. So if you're writing, hey, I'm glad I'm your background for that. Sicario Camisado, I look forward to your next driving videos. So you're one of the fans of the driving videos. Yes, my parents are into fountain pens. They know what they are, My father will ink them up occasionally, but be honest, my parents are too frugal. If they knew just how into fountain pens I am, they would probably be horrified. So I just say, yeah, I restore the occasional vintage fountain pen. I probably spend too much money putting a sack in it, Mom. If they knew the kind of money I spend on fountain pens, they'd be shocked. So I keep it quiet. Edward R. America is the best country in the world. Well, a lot of people think that. A lot of people don't. That's the only one I've lived in, so I don't have too much comment. The Earth is flat. Yes, it certainly seems that way when you live in North Dakota. This part of North Dakota actually has a lot of topography and forest. I mean, forest in North Dakota, who knew? But yeah, we have it. But yeah, if you visit the countryside around Fargo, you could definitely be led to believe that it's flat. Film Wasteland asks about my Kaveco opinion. And is that supposed to be a sneaky smile? Started to collect those. So happy about my Dia 2 Amber, my first limited edition pen. If I do not count Birmingham pens, which is always numbered and somehow limited. I have a Kaveco. No, I have a couple Kaveco Sports. I like them as pocket pens. I have a Kaveco Dia. The nib that came on the Dia was horrible. Didn't write really well. But then I replaced it with a gold nib, and it turned out to be pretty nice. And honestly, I should write with the pen more often. So, yeah, I like Kaveco. I'll tell you one of my all-time favorite pens right here. Good luck finding this pen, but this is from the 1960s. This is a Kaveco V14S. This is probably one of my all-time favorite pens. This, right at the moment, is my daily writer. I love it. Peggy Williams asked my favorite sheening ink. Good question. Really good question. I don't know if I have an answer for that. Yeah, I don't think I have an intelligent answer. Something to think about. Maybe I should do a video on sheening. Fat Nib says, don't disrespect the Italians. They'll give you a one-way ride. Well, there is that element in the Italian population. I pissed off a few Italians just by putting private reserve Tanzanite in this pen. And, whoo, I even got a whole video talking about what a horrible American I am. Luckily, I don't speak Italian, so about all I could pick out was what sounded like Spanish. So, yeah. Daniel K says, 2 questions for you. What pen would I recommend as a gift for a teacher? Below, I'm always uncomfortable. I am a teacher, so I'm uncomfortable with giving teachers gifts. I don't like to get gifts. I just feel like that's not something people should be doing. I know it's part of the culture in other countries. It's not a U.S. thing. But if you wanted to get a nice pen in that price range, you could probably get a Platinum 3776. You could get Twisbees. There's a lot of nice Twisbees out there. If you're brave enough to voyage into the vintage land, you can get some amazing vintage pens. I mean, hello. He's in that price range. Actually, so's this pretty awesome pen. But yeah, Twisbee or Platinum 3776, I think, are the best choices in that range. TJO Jones, hope your parents aren't watching. No, actually, right now, my parents are on the last leg of their journey home. They slept in Elkhart, Indiana last night, and they are probably by now in Pennsylvania and winding towards their house. Have I eaten at Space Aliens? Never in my life. Daniel K. How do I feel about the Nakai after purchasing it? Pros and cons. Would I buy another one? Hell yeah, I'd buy another one. I love it. It's going to be a long time before I buy another one because it's so flippin' expensive. So pros and cons. This finish is gorgeous. It is comfortable to hold. It writes well, which I knew it would because of the nib. I love that I've got squirrel written on it. It's a good weight. I like that it's a cartridge filler. Cons, price. Another con would be it doesn't quite have the kanji on it that I expected from what I custom ordered. But from what I am told, don't know, but from what I'm told, the kanji on it does say squirrel. Just it's not the kanji that I sent them. But they're trying to do Japanese, and I was thinking Chinese. So, because I wanted my channel name, icon, profile thingy. Would I buy another one? Yes. I like their Neo Standard, the writer. I want one of the ones. It's got the red and black, and they have a few pens with dragons. I want one of those too. So, yeah. Film Wasteland. I think mine is a Dia too, but I could be wrong. Andrew Brennan. Do you ever use pens that are just dunked into the inkwell? No. But I will be filming, except for my glass pen that I use to do ink samples. But I'm going to be doing a whole video when I do my pen giveaway where that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I guess we'll get to try it out. Hardcore Dilettante waving hello. Hey, good to have you. Sicario Camisado. I bet being in your remote location, you have quite a stunning view of the night sky. Absolutely, yes. Now, I actually have some problems with my eye. I was in an accident. How long has it been? 18 years ago. The corneas were burned and had a lot of glass embedded in them. So at night, I don't see as well as I'd like. I don't notice it all during the day, but at night I notice it. So I don't see the night sky as clearly as I'd like. But my school was given a telescope just recently. I've got it assembled. It's sitting in my storage room. And I feel like I should do a star party or something. So I'm working on the logistics of that. But yeah, we definitely get the night sky here. And, drive a few miles out in the country and you get the Milky Way and the whole business. And we're far enough south from the oil boom. We don't have all the flaring and everything to ruin our night sky. So yeah, this is a great spot to be if you like it. Right up there, they just put in all LED street lights in the city. They're a lot brighter, but they don't shine up as much. So it's really done a lot for the night sky. Yeah, very awesome. Big Block D, good evening from Germany. Oh, good to have you. Santiago Arboleda Velez, ¿hablas español? No. No hablo español. Un pequeño español. I only speak a little bit. But yes, I can read the comments. And I took 3 years of Spanish in high school and haven't practiced it. I've been working on learning Chinese. I took a semester of German in college. I studied Polish on my own for a long time. It's funny. When I was in college, I set one night we did language tables every week, where we would have supper and we'd speak entirely in the language we were taking. One week the German professor wasn't there, so I sat at the Spanish language table, and it was amazing what I could pick up. And it's kind of amazing. I have quite a number of Hispanic students who speak Spanish native, and it's kind of amazing what I can pick up from what they say that they don't realize I'm picking up. So, a few of those slang terms, kind of interesting. Very interesting sometimes to hear what a few of them think of me. Let's see. You saw that video review and it says spicy noodles on it. Don't know what you mean. Saludos desde. Oh, glad to have you from Mexico. Tadeo Velasquez. You can write to me in Chinese handwriting if you want. Right there is my big weakness. I've been trying to learn Chinese handwriting. I'm just not good at it. hope it doesn't say spicy noodles. I was reassured by a viewer that it does really say squirrel in Japanese. You know, who knows what it says in Chinese? I wanted the Chinese, but let's see. How am I going to do this? Does that say squirrel? The first character looks a lot like squirrel, like the first part of squirrel. Second part does not. But I'm told that as far as handwriting, it is. So I don't know. But again, it's a Japanese pen, and my characters in my username are Chinese, so you know, 2 different languages. Sometimes the characters overlap, sometimes they don't. Let's see here. Sakura Kamitaro, my favorite national park. I haven't actually been to very many national parks. Theodore Roosevelt National Park is my closest one to the north. That probably nails down really specifically where I live. Trying to think if I've been to any others. Truthfully, I don't think I've been to any others. Oh, my neighbor. Yeah, I think that's it. Some good videos on YouTube about Chinese writing. Yes, that actually YouTube is where I first found how to write squirrel in Chinese. And then, of course, the characters come from Google Translate. Film Wasteland. It may, just kidding. Okay. Yeah, if it says spicy noodles or stupid American, I will feel pretty stupid, but I'm told it really does say squirrel. Google does not translate it. I don't know how to type kanji into Google Translate, to be honest. So I will be right back in a second. There's something I got to go take care of, but I will be right back. Okay, I don't know if anybody else is planning on corn potato soup, but with this cold weather, I thought I'd take advantage of it. So I had to quick plug in the crock pot because I just remembered that, oh, yeah, that needs some time in the crock pot before I can cook it. So I'll be having a really late supper tonight because I forgot to do it at lunchtime when I was supposed to and just thought of it. Let's see where I was at. Far from stupid. Yeah, I hope so. I try. Guys, let's take a toilet break. Okay. Probably taking care of that wine he's drinking. Yeah, might have done that too. But I really did have to plug in the crock pot because forgot at lunch. I could upload a photo and let Google translate the kanji. I did not know that was a thing. That's interesting. I honestly didn't know that Google could do that from a photo. So that definitely would be, where's my phone? Something to try. So let's see. Experiment here. Got my phone. And I will take the pen out. And we turn it the right way. Of course, you can't see any of this, but I'm trying. Okay, took the photo, and you said upload a photo and let Google translate the kanji. Okay, so I need to go to Google. Wish you could all see what I'm doing here. So Google Translate. I am going to Google. And let's see, Google Translate. So I'm going to Google Translate. I'm going to recap the pen though. And enter text. Okay, it doesn't really give me an option to upload the photo, so I'm not sure what to do. It looks like something I may have to research. So why don't I just quick show you all the photo I took. And oh, wow, it has got me way at the back, all my photos. And then I'll figure out how to Google Translate it later. So the photo I took is this just now. And I'll just figure out how to upload it later. Because clearly I'm not doing it right. Because there's no option to upload a photo. Let's see. India, welcome from India. Chris Rapp, 52, does that all the time with his Chinese pens. I don't know why that's hidden, but we'll click show. Namaste Dipom. My favorite pens is a Ranga pen. I don't know. A pen pal gave me a whole bunch of Indian pens. I can't remember if a Ranga is one of them, but here, why don't I just go quick grab them? Okay, so yeah, this pen pal gave me a whole bunch of Indian pens. So I don't think any of them are Ranga pens, but there's a Click, a Wallety, another Click, an Airmail, another Airmail, another Airmail. Don't know. Really don't know. I think it's a Surwex, a Gamma, and a don't know. So I don't know if that helped at all. But yeah, those are the pens that I have that are Indian right at the moment, other than what I've already reviewed. The Camlin Sovereign is still going strong in my writing collection. Let's see here. I've lost track here. Do I have a Google Translate app? No, I didn't know there was an app. So that might be something to look for. Daniel K, I might need the Google Translate app. Yeah, you're right. So I'll look for that. I didn't know there was an app. I always just go to the website. Do you want any vintage Conway Stewart pens? They made some beautiful ones. No. On my list, I would like to get one. I just don't have one yet. Eventually, I'll work my way through this wine. Sakaro Kamithado, truly global audience today. Yes. Am I the only guy in town with that type of social media reach? Probably. I actually had a student a few years ago who had a YouTube channel. He had several million subscribers, but he also did gaming videos, and I can't get excited about gaming. I never have. Stefan Feinen, translator app. Yeah, okay. So apparently there is an actual app I need, so I will look for that. And Joel Terrell says, no, they're not Rangas. Can I upload a close-up of those characters as a YouTube post? Oops, phone's upside down. Why don't I do that right now? See if I remember how. I had a German foreign exchange student this year. It says I use the phone like an old person. Apparently, you're not supposed to do this. But yeah. So, post. I'm writing, this is my kanji. And then I'm writing, does it say squirrel? And okay, it is posted. So hopefully that helps. And I don't know if you're all hearing my neighbor across the street through those windows is mowing his lawn right at the moment. And the windows are open because it's only 66 degrees outside. So it seems silly to run an air conditioner. Oh, let's see. Let me catch up here. Alex Pastukov, I watched your garden video, like the petunias. Yes, petunias are a lot of fun. These are great because you will see over the coming month they're going to spread and spill out over the edge of the barrels that they're in. They're pretty awesome that way. Often when I don't know what to grow out front, I'll just put petunias in. So yeah, petunias are great. Yeah, I am comfortable. I've been in this house 6 years now. It's home. It is the second house I've ever bought, and I'm just very comfortable in it. It needs a little work, but I'm getting there. TJO Jones, do I like my airmail pens? I'll be honest, I haven't. The only one I have used is this one, and it has, I think, baby's bottom on the nib. I need to do some work on it. But I'm going to film some first impressions pretty quick for the rest of them because I've never written with the rest. Andrew Brendan, ditto when it comes to gaming. Okay, yeah, I agree. As a kid, we had a TI 99 4A, and my father bought from somebody else an expansion box, which expanded the memory up to 48 kilobytes. And let's see, he had a bunch of games he bought with it. And honestly, they didn't do much for me. Parsec and Slimoids were sort of fun for about 5 minutes at a time. Pac-Man, again, about 5 minutes at a time. Was it Pong? The one where you had the paddles? Anyway, it was just kind of couldn't appeal to me. So, yeah, I just never have gotten into gaming. We had a few of those Infocom games where you were typing text and you're saying, like Zork 1, Zork 2, Zork 3, Planetfall. I don't remember what else we had, but anyway, we had some Infocom games too, and it just kind of meh. Didn't thrill me. Let's see. Joe Terrell, 95 degrees in central Pennsylvania. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not there. One thing I do not miss from Pennsylvania is the humidity. Southwestern North Dakota can get very hot. But typically, except for last week when my parents were here, we don't get the humidity to go with it. So it's not as horrifying and hot as it could be. Alex Pastukov, would you like to do your own pen? I don't know, that my own pen isn't something that's really appealed to me too much. I don't have a specific idea. Like I've thought about ink a few times. What could I do as my own ink? I've never really thought real hard about what could I do as my own fountain pen, or what do I want if I were to do my own fountain pen. I guess I've never thought of it. Sounds truth. Good question. I don't have a good answer. Daniel K. tried looking for the Kaveca V14S. I think that's why I probably said good luck. I don't see them very often. I got this one on myuberpens.com. I've seen them show up on Peyton Street Pens, and I've seen them show up on eBay, but not very often. I feel like a lot of the people that have them probably just hold on to them. Well, I'm definitely holding on to this one. You'll take this one from my cold dead hands. So yeah, I'm sorry I'm not much more help. Favorite random YouTube video recently? That is a good question. I think I recently, well, the Lucas the Spider videos. In fact, we know I like Lucas because here he is. Yeah, his speaker is absolutely useless, but yeah, I like Lucas the Spider. That's probably my favorite thing I've run across randomly ever on YouTube. He's just cool, and then he waves with his little pedipalps, and I love the fact that I bought this thing to fund some little kid's college fund. And he's semi-anatomically correct. I think real jumping spiders have more eyes, but yeah, he's got 4 eyes. That's something. I mean, I've only got 2, so Lucas is definitely beating me out. But yeah, probably the Lucas the Spider videos, whatever recent ones of those have come out. I enjoy those. Like I will drop what I'm doing for a Lucas the Spider video. If I look on my feed and see a Lucas the Spider, that's the first thing I'll click on. He's just so much fun. Ink Guy says hello. Well, hello to you too. I see I have 8% battery power, so I'm going to be right back. I got to go get my. Got to go plug this in, or this stream will end suddenly. All right, so I am up and down and all sorts of organized today. So in my desk, I actually have an outlet, so that's good. And you might have noticed I'm broadcasting this from my desk. And oops, and I just ran over the cord. I'm broadcasting this from my desk instead of from my couch, where it would have been plugged in, and this wouldn't have been a problem. But whatever, I'm learning. So now I know next time to bring the adapter over. I didn't even think about that. Let's see. TJO Jones. When you do your driving videos, it looks like. Let me turn off my phone here. Looks like miles of just land. What do people do with all that land? Farming? Yes. North Dakota has lots of farming, lots of ranching, and yeah, it's a long ways between any towns. It is 45 miles west or east to the nearest town of any size, about 45 miles to the next town south in South Dakota, although in fairness, that one's really tiny. And then to the north, it's about 60 miles to the next town. Amadon is up there, but there's only about 15 houses in Amadon, so I don't count that. But yeah, it is wide open space here in North Dakota. Barbara Whipple, can you tell us about the lamp behind you? I'm going to assume you're talking about this. I bought this a couple of years ago. I visited up Cartwright Tunnel and Fairview Lift Bridge. The Cartwright Tunnel is the longest railroad tunnel in North Dakota. It's no longer a railroad tunnel. It's just a tunnel now, but a train used to run through it. And it curves. You can find the video on my channel. I actually have 2 videos about it. And this was my flashlight there because at the store I stopped, this is all they had. So I was just like, okay. So it's got a couple levels of brightness, and whatnot. And so I walked through the tunnel, used this, and then I realized I really didn't need it. So I walked back without the flashlight. And then I'm, walking in the dark because that curve is totally dark. And I heard people up ahead of me. So I thought, well, I don't want to scare them. So I turned the light on, and I scared them by turning the light on. So yeah, there's my story about the flashlight. Let's see. Alex Pastikov, favorite movie from the 90s? Pretty sure it's from the 90s. LA Confidential. I didn't know at that time that I would get into film noir, but wow, what a great movie, and just a world. I mean, I'm a small town guy. The whole big city police department thing is just so cool, even if it was from the 50s. Yeah, that was LA Confidential, no question. Favorite movie from the 90s. Sicaro Camisado. Are my students impressed with my YouTube and social media savvy? No. I try to keep the world separate, but they all know. In fact, I have students who are subscribers to the channel and Instagram. Facebook is very private, but Facebook I don't treat the same. No, they're not too impressed because I'm actually not very savvy. Like that whole Snapchat thing, just I don't get it. I don't do it. I don't get it. Instagram, I'm posting pens, which is old people stuff. So yeah, they look at this and say, yep, that's old people stuff. Our teachers and old people. So yeah, not super impressed. The one on the table. Do you mean that one? This is I'll assume that's what you mean. That is the very first lamp I ever bought for my house. I bought that 20 years ago at the Staples in Minot, which is now out of business. I wanted a lamp to read by in the evening in my living room. So that's the first one I bought. So, yeah. ACM Rommel, welcome. Glad to have you. Andrew Brendan is surprised there are tunnels in my state. Yes, it's the only one. It's in western North Dakota. If you know the topography here, it kind of makes sense. It's coming up from fairly level plains around Fairview, Montana, and whoop, right smack over the bridge and into the Badlands. And there's a big butte in the way. So they put trying to remember the length of the tunnel. It's a long tunnel. Okay. I'll put a link to a website about it, but I'm just looking up the length of the tunnel. Eventually I'll find it. Got the link open. I just need some numbers. And still useless. Okay. I'll put the link in the video or in the chat here, but let's see here. Okay, the bridge is 1,320 feet. Okay, I guess I don't know how long the tunnel is, and the first two links I clicked on here don't give it. I've got one more link I'm going to try here, and then I'll give up. Okay, the tunnel is 1/4 mile long. All right, so let me put a link to the description of the tunnel. I'm typing. And like I said, somewhere on my channel, I've got a tour of this. But yeah, it's the only one. TJO Jones, if I had to choose only one pen to keep, which one? I want to say I'd say the Lamy 2000. But I think because I spent so much money on this Nikaya, that's probably the one I'd keep. Uh, Hello, Matthew. Glad to have you. Yes, I am well. I'm actually doing really well today. Good mood. Uh, how did my parents' the garden work? It worked very well. They did a lot of weeding. They did a lot of trimming. If you saw my video, you got to see how weed-free the garden is now, thanks to them. So that's exciting. Un Juan Ekis, how's the oil boom in the state going? It has slowed down a lot, but it's sort of picked up a bit. Um, when it was at its height, I kept saying, well, it's not going to last. And people are saying, no, this is different this time. Just like they've said at every other oil boom. But yeah, it is slowed down a lot. It's not gone. The impacts are there. If you go up visit Watford City, North Dakota, that's a town that was the size of my town, 1,500 people or so, and it is turned into a city. They had to build a new high school. They had to build a bypass around the town because the town couldn't handle the traffic. 4 lanes all around it. It is a totally different world. And I had the chance to teach up there, and I'm really glad I didn't take that chance. If I only had one ink, what would I choose? Well, I definitely want to choose a business-like ink. I know it's boring, but I'd probably stick with like the Pelican Black, or I'd stick with the Lamy Black, one or the other. I just, that's what I do my business writing with. Matthew likes that table lamp, so glad you like it. It looks kind of old-fashioned. It has pull chains on it, and it's a fun lamp. It's I didn't spend much on it. Like I said, I bought it at Staples, but it's a good lamp. Especially now I have some LED lights in it, and they're just the right color and brightness to really match the lamp. TJ Jones, do I prefer paper with lines or blank lines? Depends on what I'm doing. I guess if I'm doing writing for like my novel and stuff, probably prefer the lines. But in fairness, I haven't tried doing that on paper without the lines. But when I switch notebooks again for my pen reviews, the notebook I'm switching into is going to be blank. You've got a lot more freedom with blank paper. I really like dot paper because the dot paper just gives you the freedom and yet the structure. I don't have one out here right now, but I have some notebooks that are actually really cool that have lined paper on one side and blank on the other, or lined and dot, or lined and graph. That's actually an interesting combination. I'm learning how to take advantage of it. Matthew Badeau says old-fashioned is good looks. Yeah, it definitely, if we're talking about that lamp, yeah, it definitely has that old-fashioned look to it. It's I don't know, 20 years old or so, because that's when I would have bought it. It would have been one of my first 2 or 3 paychecks paid for that. I've got a bookshelf in here I bought on the same shopping trip, but you can't see it in this. Let's see if I can turn it. This bookshelf right here, I also bought on the same shopping trip. So, yeah, I've owned it for a long time. The furniture in here, the couch and the love seat are all came with the house that I was renting way back then, and I think the file cabinet you would have seen there also came from there. The other bookshelf, this is a mess. The one the monitor's sitting on right here, my grandfather actually built that. So yeah, now you've seen a little bit of my house. I'm sitting on the cord. There we go. You've seen a little bit of my house now. Barbara Whipple, is it a mica shade? Yes, it is. Very cool. I mean, science teacher in me loves the idea of mica, and the idea of a mica shade just really cool. TJ Jones, most fountain pen people like to write. Do I ever sketch things in my story to illustrate it? Hey, I'm going to get up again and be right back. Okay, so I keep thinking I should do a video on this one of these days, but here we go. So back in college, I don't remember what I was doing, but it was some kind of a sample lesson. So I created a visual aid, the Starling, and I illustrated it. It's a little storybook. Okay, so no, I'm not much of an artist. The art would have been drawn probably with a Parker vector. So yeah, that's from college. I don't have dates on all this stuff. I drew a police station on paper that's been written on. This is a character from a novel that never went anywhere. She's an old lady physics professor. This is another novel that never went anywhere. This is a police officer. Yes, I write science fiction. Don't laugh at me because it looks old-fashioned. This was his boss. This is a sketch of another police department. Supposed to be more fortress-like. This one was a sketch of a church. I don't remember why because there's no notes on it. This is a sketch of physicist Werner Heisenberg. You might actually, if you know photographs of physicists, you might actually recognize the photograph that's taken from. The real Wasky the Squirrel. A random map that doesn't belong here. I wrote a novel about it was supposed to be about a science teacher in a small school. Another one that never went anywhere. Has some potential, but it needs some major reworking. So I drew the map of the school he taught in. It's supposed to be a small country school, much smaller than I teach in. A coffee-stained start of a map of a town that never went anywhere. A really careful ruler-drawn drawing of a police department. What is this? Oh, the physics professor. This is some stuff around the campus. More stuff around the campus. I have no idea. A truck. Another truck. Yes, my science fiction is very retro. Let's call it diesel punk. A bus. This, I have no idea. It's a floor mat plan for a house. It's definitely not the house from the book I'm writing right now. I don't know. This guy is talked about actually in the novel I'm writing. This is a horrible drawing of him. He's called the Scarred Man. He's got a really bad facial scar that twists his face all into a kind of a sneer is how I describe it. Floor plan of, looks like a police department. I don't know. Yeah, I've got a lot of drawings here. More floor plans. More floor plans. Floor plans. Floor plans. I'm kind of gonna ease past all these floor plans. In fact, actually, I'm still working on it, but I'm working on a series of sketch notes, and I want enough so I don't, take a break unexpectedly. But I'm going to do some sketch notes and upload them on Instagram soon. This, I think this is right way up. This is supposed to be a computer station. I've actually got better ideas for their technology. My idea is the technology just kind of disappears into the past, or disappears like you don't notice it. I'm envisioning technology of the future as being something you just don't see. This is supposed to be a what is he? Government agent of some kind, and a table lamp. Yeah. Kind of a retro future airplane, retro future car, retro future gun, retro future computer. But now if I were to do the computer, the way I describe them now is it's a fiche. You don't have all this fancy stuff. It's just like a piece of clear plastic that projects images and stuff on it. And they can plug it into a keyboard if they want. So the technology really disappears. Like they might pick up what looks like an old-fashioned phone, but they can just say, call up Stephen Brown, and it'll call Stephen Brown without having to dial a number or any of the screen or anything. More police departments. This is very Western inspired, but I don't know what it is. Another bus with weird looking headlights. Hey, this is a book. This is the next one I want to write. The sheriff is going to be in this. It's kind of a pea green colored siding, and inside is really not finished. Another police department, a bar, and a truck. Let's see. Ooh, another version of that police station. A car. Another truck. Probably my fanciest police station I've ever drawn. And this was supposed to be two characters. They were husband and wife, and they were scientists, and I just kind of envisioned a whole series that followed them, but they weren't that interesting. So I didn't end up doing anything with it. There's that old lady physics professor again. She's a fun character. She just wasn't in a fun novel, so I need to find a place for her. When I was a teenager, I tried to do one about a teenager. He was a fail. Here's another police officer at that same police station. This was totally copied out of Der Spiegel, which is a German magazine. He's a soccer player. I didn't write his name down, but that's where I got the picture from. The August 17th, 1998 issue of Der Spiegel on page 186, if you're looking for the picture. This is a guy, I wanted to do kind of a fun, younger character. Most of my characters aren't like that. They're older, or else, like Ian can barely walk. The old lady, people with a lot of problems. So he didn't work out. He's just too healthy and young. And finally, that cop novel I really wanted to write, and it was such a fail. This guy was supposed to be the big hero in the end of it. He's just kind of a middle-aged, kind of loser man. But out of everybody in the book, he was the one with some morals, and he's the one that ends up on top at the end. And this chair, copy, stolen straight from my grandparents' basement. So, yeah. So, if I were to illustrate it or describe it, I suppose it's not a steampunk future, it's a diesel punk, if that makes any sense. So, I don't know how long I did that, but let me just quick look at all the comments here. Let's see. Left a comment on your, yep, squirrel is Chinese word, but Japanese calligraphy. Thank you, Fat Nib. Alex Pashkov, what do I have in school? I actually don't leave pens at school. I take them home with me. If I were to leave pens at school, I'd probably leave the lower cost, like the Gin House or something, just because I feel safer with those. TJ Jones, art. Most of my art is actually done with a pencil. But the sketch notes, if I start uploading them to Instagram, those are all going to be done with fountain pen, at least so far. Brian Stearns, oh, thank you. They're not great art, but I'm trying. Alex Pustakov, I'm glad you like my art, because the reason I haven't shown them before is I am very shy and nervous about them. Sakato Kamisato, cool drawings. Oh, thank you. And Matthew likes my art. Andrew, oops, just scrolled right past it. Even if a story isn't completed, doesn't go anywhere, it's still more writing experience, and the learning and developing of your craft is right. Absolutely. I've written a lot of garbage. I could show you a whole shelf of garbage down in the basement. It's not good writing, but I have stolen characters and settings from there. I have a lot of hope for this ship-breaking novel, which is why I've spent so long on it. I guess I'm still really shy about the quality of it, but it is leaps and bounds from what I've done before, and it is because of the garbage I've written before. So yeah, write. If what you write turns out to be garbage, write some more. You will get there. And this shipbreaking novel may not be the one that gets me there, but it's a whole huge step closer than anything I've done before. Shirley Jackson made a floor plan of the Crane Mansion in The Haunting of Hill House. You're in good company. Yeah, I want to know where characters are. I want to know how these houses are laid out. You know, the house that Ian spends part of the time in the novel, it's basically a 2-bedroom or a 2-room house. It's smaller than what I'm living in. I mean, it's probably slightly bigger than this living room, and that's it. But yeah, just knowing where everything is, so I keep my descriptions consistent, and just so I can picture it for myself, even if my reader doesn't see it. You know, I leave the couch on the right side, I leave the bathroom door on the right side, I put the kitchen on the right end of the room. You know, great things for consistency in your writing. TJO Jones, where the computer was a piece of plastic. Yes, that's what I envision. I don't see a piece of paper laying around here, but I'll just steal one of these drawings. I picture the computer as just a thin sheet of plastic, clear. They can fold it up, put it in their pocket. They can use it. They can call on it like it's a cell phone. They can stick it into a keyboard and type on it. That's what I envision for this future technology. Just it doesn't look like you're in the future until you start looking closely and say, holy cow, we couldn't do that back in 2019. I love the romance of some of the old technology. I always loved those old mechanical cash registers and the tape machines running on the computers and the paper tape and the punched cards. But realistically, I think this is the way to go for the future. So that's what I'm writing. Herr Keck says, good afternoon. Well, glad to have you. I've been going for a really long time. And I just scrolled past everything you just wrote. So let me scroll back here. TJO Jones says, yeah, I should scan as black and white and eliminate the stain. Yeah, probably. These were all originals that I was holding up. Herr Kex greets somebody in German, and I can only understand part of what he said. Scrolling down. Oh, Mr. Muvek is apparently posting in Polish. So I'm going to show it. I hope he didn't say something horrible. Uh, I I know that it's Polish, but I don't know enough about it to understand what he said. So yeah. Ooh, Herr Kex is getting an Opus 88 Omar Clear. I've looked at the Opus 88. Oops, sorry, rolled over my cord again. I've looked at the Opus 88. I have not actually tried one. I'm curious about them, but haven't tried one. So let us know how it works out. I'm curious. And Margaret Atwood said, to my best recollection, something about continuing to write and write better when you fail better. Yeah, I like that sentiment. Um, my writing is terrible. When I edit, I almost rewrite everything. But I have to remind myself that, I have to find that balance. First of all, definitely edit and improve it so it looks like I actually did a good job from the first place. But second thing, I'm going to have to realize sometime that it's probably about as good as I'm going to get it, and maybe move on to the next project. I want to finish this Ian novel because I have another novel based that follows one of the minor characters from Ian's novel. And that'll be interesting. It's a guy living in a small town in the desert, and he's a sheriff, and that's why some of these police departments are appearing. So anyway, Big Black DE found a Lamy 80 on a flea market a few weeks ago. I'm glad. Okay, you gave it to your sister. Good. I would have a hard time giving mine away. I love my Lamy 80. So I'm a little curious what nib you had on it. And Brian Stearns has owned the Opus 88 Orange Demonstrator, says it's an amazing innkeeper pen. I don't know what an innkeeper pen is, but that's actually a very interesting description, so thank you. Ink dropper. Okay. Now that makes a lot more sense. I do know what an ink dropper is. I think I have. Yeah. This pen that I showed in Pens in Use is an ink dropper. This bit here adjusts a seal that's down at this end. So yeah, the ink dropper is interesting. I have a few of these, like this Airmail Wallety here is totally an eyedropper pen, but it doesn't have that adjuster thing in it. So this one got kind of wild as it started to go empty, but because of the baby's bottom thing, I ended up giving up on it early. Needs a different nib or some smoothing or something. This one here, have not tried, but it's also an eyedropper. Let's see. Joel Terrell says the Opus 88 is a great pen as long as you like an eyedropper filler. Substantial heft, very comfortable to hold. You can use it posted or not. It does not dry out. Well, that is good to know. I'm curious about them. I just haven't been brave enough to buy one. Big Block DE. It's a white 585 golden nib on it. Okay. Would I like to shoot a series of road drawings of North Dakota? Oh, that'd be easy. I just draw a straight line across and label one side of it sky and the other end of it ground. No, I kid. There's my end of North Dakota. There's more topography than that. Eastern North Dakota, yeah, I'd be done. Yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. I've been working on, like I said, I've got some sketch notes I've been doing. I just want to get a few more, and I'll start uploading them. But that might be interesting to try, just neat scenes. I don't know. What I really want to do is draw characters and places from my novels, to be honest. But that might make good practice for it. Andrew Brendan, I believe in writing, developing a story as far as you can, but without compromising your vision of the story to make it more marketable. Yeah, the marketability of the story might be a bit of a challenge. I mean, the fact that I've got my hero in leg braces and walking with crutches is immediately going to lose people because he can't do the manly rah-rah CGI fights and stuff. He can be a tough guy. Yeah, well, you'll have to read the novel, but yeah, he's not your stereotypical American hero. Let's just put it that way. Darn autocorrect. Okay, so that's why you have an ink dropper. I gotcha. Do I think ebonite stinks? Ebonite definitely has a smell to it, especially if it's newer ebonite. I don't know if I want to use stink, but yeah, it has a definite odor to it. Definitely a rubbery smell. Let's see. Herr Kex likes vintage Lamies but doesn't have one. He's going to in 30 years because the Lamy 2000 is going to turn 30 in 30 years. Okay. Yeah, I have a few vintage Lamies. I picked them up. Over this past year, if you saw my gardening video, you saw why I haven't really been buying very many expensive pens. I've been saving, and I'm there now, but I've been saving for a new roof for this house, and I found some vintage Lamy pens that are pretty low cost, so that was pretty exciting. Ironside, yeah. I actually know who Ironside is, believe it or not. That was, can't remember the actor, but he was a lawyer in a wheelchair. Yes, you're right. Forgot about him. Ian is not in a wheelchair. He gets around, just not real fast. Big Black DE brought his sister into using fountain pens again. You know, I tried to get my brother into fountain pens, and my sister-in-law, it didn't work. I bought him some nice pens too, but yeah, that was a fail. So I've got a few students into them though. Stephen Finan loves the smell of sulfur in the morning from ebonite pens. Yeah. I don't know. They've got more than just sulfur to them. There's definitely some kind of a smell, a unique to ebonite smell to them. Dean, Lamy 2000 is a baby at 5 years old. Has already been to Lamy and back to fix a leak. Mine was doing really well until I dropped it nib. This isn't a Lamy 2000, but I dropped it nib first right onto the floor in my classroom and created all sorts of problems. So I'm starting over. It was my fault. And TJO Jones, I've been using Strathmore Vision mixed media journals to draw. Oh, use a Pilot Parallel pen. Don't go through the paper. You know, I know the word Strathmore. I feel like that's an art journal. But yeah, let me grab it here. Oh, I just grabbed my cord again. Okay, it's not there. Maybe it's up here. Nope. Okay, don't know where it is. I put a whole bunch of stuff away when my parents visited, but I was going to show you my sketch notes. Oh, I know where they are. I'll go grab them. All right, I'm back. So I've been putting mine into this, what's it called? Moleskine sketchbook. So, I just, like I said, they're sketch notes. They're not really sketches, so I don't have a lot of them. I should do one for today about live streaming or something. But yeah, it's not the best paper, but it's working pretty well for this. So it's just a different way of looking at things. I noticed my mother was journaling about her trip here. Not in a fountain pen, she was using a ballpoint, but still, she's journaling about it. I think she's thinking about things she wants to remember from this trip. They're at that point where they're probably only going to be out here a few more times, and then they won't be able to travel anymore. So it'll be all down to me visiting them. So I think maybe trying to remember things about it. She doesn't like North Dakota especially. I remember I lived in West Hope and for 3 years when I first moved to the state. If you know West Hope, I mean, that's tiny. And then I moved down to Turtle Lake. The first time they visited me in Turtle Lake, I said to my mother, well, what do you think? And she says, well, I don't hate it as much as West Hope. I haven't asked her what she thinks since then. See, Joel Terrell received, a senator president from Bulgaria with a camphor smell. Yeah, I didn't know they put celluloid in them either. Big Block DE, is your story writing somewhat in setting of Isaac Asimov? No. I do have, what I have are basically two pretty widespread human civilizations. No aliens. The aliens actually exist, but they don't show up on screen, so to speak. But yeah, it's pretty far future, but not the civilization he wrote about. Without getting too detailed, but yeah, it's a different universe from Isaac Asimov. Strathmore makes nice calligraphy paper and makes good writing paper. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'd heard of them in terms of art. That's all I'd ever heard of them. Raymond Burr was the actor who played Ironsides. Okay, Raymond Burr. I feel like he's famous for something else. Not coming to me. But yeah, I know the name Raymond Burr. Moleskine does make a heavy paper journal. Maybe that could be. This is it. Does anybody know how the Diplomat steel nibs compare to the gold nibs? Good question. I've looked at the Diplomat pens. I haven't talked myself into pulling the trigger on one of those either. I like the orange one. I think it's really attractive. I just haven't been able to talk myself into it yet. And Herr Keck says they're stiffer, but doesn't know how they compare in smoothness. And the gold nibs sing a lot. Perry Mason. Okay, so he played two lawyers. That's why I know him. He was the one with a deep voice, which means nothing because that was kind of the thing back then. I'm thinking of, I got so many different things running together because I actually like old black and white movies. I'm thinking but it didn't have Raymond Burr in it. It took place on the border. It was a murder. They blew up some kind of an American guy, and it was a Mexican police officer investigating the murder sort of unofficially. And it wasn't Raymond Burr. It was somebody else with a deep voice. It was kind of a corrupt American cop. And it had to do with drug running. It was quite a complex. Charlton Heston played the Mexican cop, which interesting casting, but in the 50s, I guess or 40s, whenever they filmed it, they couldn't have somebody who's actually Mexican play a role. Damn, I can't remember the name of the movie, but yeah, I love movies like that, those old black and whites. Let's see, Andrew Brennan, Brian Stearns. Raymond Burr did the Jury TV series. I don't think I've seen Jury TV. And apparently you like the Titch of Evil. There it is. Yes. Because, yeah, that was an interesting one. The whole beginning is kind of like a long shot of where you're following a car that has a bomb inside of it. And you're like waiting for it to explode. And meanwhile, you meet up with this Mexican police officer was played by what was his name again? It's up here. Charlton Heston, of all people. And but you're waiting for this car to blow up. Yeah. That was interesting. But yeah, back in the 50s and 60s, Mickey Rooney playing a Japanese guy in drawing another blank. It's another old movie. This one was in color, though. It had that lady with the really nice neck, Audrey Hepburn. And Holly Golightly was her name, but I can't think of the name of the movie. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Thank you. Yes, Orson Welles was the actor that played the crooked cop. Yeah, he had a good voice for movies. He was quite something. And yeah, Breakfast at Tiffany's was the movie. You're right. I am horrible at remembering things right off the bat. Right at the moment I need to remember them. What's your name again? Sorry, we've been dating for 3 months. Sorry. I'll just take another swig of this and forget all my troubles. But yeah, I like those old movies. Moon Over Parador. I have not seen that one. But I know the name Jonathan Winters. I must have seen Jonathan Winters in something. Hair Kex has the arrow in the factory finish. Build quality is awesome. That's good to hear. I know. Oh, where is it? The Senator. Here's my Senator president. Senator and Diplomat were closely related. They were under the Merz-Krell company. I'm not sure the exact relationship, but that's something I've always thought about. I've never had a Diplomat, but I've always thought about Senator pens is how high quality they are. I mean, even this president, which in response to, was that Joel Terrell? Somebody was saying it smells like camphor. Oh, there it is. Joel Terrell. Yeah, I'm not smelling any camphor off of this one. So I don't know if they're made out of celluloid at one time or what. This one is clearly not celluloid. Comedic actor. Oh yeah, it's a mad world. Yeah, that's a fun movie. Trying to remember, there were a couple famous people in that, and they're all just trying to end up with some kind of a prize, and in the end, they all end up arrested in the hospital. Yeah, that was an interesting movie. Any expensive pens on the way for me? No. I get my final paycheck in June, and then I don't get another paycheck until September 20th. Now, I have long since learned how to budget for that, and yet I get incredibly nervous through the summer, going all those months without getting any income at all except advertising on YouTube. And I don't buy pens in the summer. So, yeah, no pens on the way for me. And I know I'll probably buy a bunch of pens in September when I realize that, oh yeah, you made it through summer with lots of cash to spare. But I always just have this fear that what if this is the summer where I need lots and lots of extra cash, and oh God, I just spent it on that Platinum Izumo. I don't want that to ever happen. So yeah, that's why I don't buy pens in the summer. I'm not poor or anything. I just, my nervousness from not getting paid for 3 or 4 months. Just can't get through it. Okay, Joel Terrell says his newer one has a gold nib. It's resin and had no smell. Doesn't my school offer a 12-month option for pay? Sort of. What they do is they give us all the checks in June. Then we don't get any more checks for the rest of the summer. And again, it's a mental thing. I know the cash is there. I know my how everything works out financially. but it's the mental thing that I have not been paid since June that just makes it really hard for me to spend lots of money in the summer. It's probably childish, but I know that one year where I go and spend that money and then wish I had it, I'll be sorry. So yeah, that's why I don't buy pens in the summer. I buy them all in the winter. I always say I'm going to buy lots of ink in the summer too, but haven't bought any of that either. But that's probably good as well. Got more ink than I need, so yeah. Yeah, Ink Guy has it right. But yeah, we don't get paid over 12 months. We get 12 paychecks, but the last 3 or 4 come in June. So it's just an emotional thing, not a logic thing. I know how to do the math, but I just can't get past it. And Fat Nib has it right. What I do is that the money does go into an account, and I just move it into checking every month, a certain amount. But again, it's that mental thing of I don't have a paycheck coming in that keeps me from buying pens in the summer. Keeps me from doing a lot of traveling in the summer too. I just it's emotion. It's totally emotion. It's not mathematical. I know I'm going to get to September. I'm going to have extra cash left over, but that emotional hurdle is just really hard to get over. And I guess I'd rather err on the side of caution. Mary Al is from Greece. Welcome. And yes, going to eBay, definitely not a thing I do much in the summer. There are actually 4 pens in my shopping cart on eBay, but I'm not letting myself pull the trigger on them. I actually have 6 or 7 pens waiting for repairs, so I might scratch my itch to get a new pen by repairing 1 or more of them. That's how the Kadab ended up getting fixed. Big Black DE should set up a pen show in my area this summer break. If you knew where I lived, I don't think that's real feasible. I mean, even the idea of doing a pen show in North Dakota is a little iffy. But rural North Dakota, in my little small town of 1,500 people, which is literally in the middle of nowhere, not going to happen. It would be fun to have a close by pen show, but it won't happen. I've thought about there's a Pelican, I've got a name for it, kind of a Pelican meetup. I've thought about getting into that and possibly offering my town for one of those. I don't know how many people would come here, though. I feel like I'd get shuttled off to Dickinson or Bismarck or something because people would see my small town and be like, really? There's nothing there. Oh, welcome, Herr Kex from Germany. Pelican Hub, that's what it's called. Thank you. And Margaret Christie. Such a shame that the psycho in you won't let you travel during the months when you would have the time. Yeah, I'll travel a bit. I'll get down to South Dakota once or twice. I'll get over to Montana a few times. But yeah, I am a bit nervous about traveling too far. My car's 20 years old, and I'd hate for it to break down somewhere far, far away. I have thought about going to the pen show in Missouri. Haven't made it there yet, but I have thought about it. There's a pen show in Colorado that takes place after school starts, but I thought about that one. Maybe when I get a newer car. TJO Jones, you don't have to register to vote in North Dakota. No, you're right. There is no voter registration in North Dakota. Now, you do have to be a resident for a certain amount of time. So say if you show up here and try to vote in my town, they won't let you. But yeah, there is no voter registration. So nobody registers as Democrat, Republican, Independent. So, I know which party my political leanings are, sort of, but I don't have to register as that party. I think that's actually a good thing, because what business is it of my neighbors what my party is anyway? And then you're expected to be loyal to your party. Like, well, what if I like the Republican better, or I like the Democrat better, and I'm the other party? I like that freedom. So yeah, that's a nice thing about North Dakota, the way we do our voting. I'm not a fan of our caucuses, especially when the party in the primaries, because we don't have primaries, we have caucuses, when the party can just nominate whoever they want and not even bother following what the voters want, or even totally be opposite what the voters want, I have a big problem with that. But yeah, that's a political discussion. Do I watch many of Chris Rapp's videos? I do. I am very drawn to the Chinese pens. I just am more drawn to the vintage. And it comes down to, I've got a limited budget for what I'll spend on pens, and I prefer to spend it on my vintage Eastern and Western European pens rather than Chinese. I've got a few of the ones that I've seen on his channel, just not a lot. Ink Guy, I'm looking to go to one just to meet others. Yeah, Central Florida wasn't quite as rural as where I live, but Central Florida is definitely a lot more rural than people think when they think of Florida. Joel Terrell, emotional things are real, and they are why PSEA bargained for 12-month pay schedule a few decades ago, and why school boards had to agree. The public understands. Yeah, there are. The very first school I taught in, I actually did have the option to get a 9-month contract. Now, where I'd get paid over 9 months. I was just like, no, I want it spread out just in case I don't budget. And yeah, even so, I was eating like beans and rice by the time I got my first paycheck the following year, because I didn't budget properly. And maybe that's part of it, why I'm so overcautious the other way. But yeah, you just, when you're not getting paid, you don't have that buffer to fall back on. Well, at least it'll get replenished on August 20th. Oh, no, it won't. So that's why I'm extra cautious. My beverage is almost run dry. I'm going to put some more water in this. And yes, it's water this time. Let's see here. Get a heavy duty truck to haul your pens around. Actually, I love having just my Toyota Camry. See, it's water. No, I'm not going to fill it up to here with vodka. That would be, I'd be on the floor by the time I finish that drink. What was I? Light duty truck, heavy duty truck. Yeah, my pens actually don't take up a lot of space. Ink does, but the pens don't. I like having my Toyota Camry because it's fuel efficient, doesn't take up much space, it's reliable. The car is 19 years old. It'll be 20 years old next year. When I bought it, the salesman said it's going to be a 20-year car. And, how much can you trust a used car salesman? But, he's a year off right now, and it's behaving beautifully. So my plan at the moment is when the tires wear out, that's when I'll replace the car. There are occasional times when I really wish I had a truck or something to haul stuff around, or help me out on the bad roads. Most of the time, I don't need anything more than a simple sedan, and I'm happy with my simple sedan. So yeah, I've thought about it. People make fun of my car getting old, but it works for me. You find my place here. I kind of lost my line. Oh, Andrew Brennan, Grandfather refused to vote in primaries because he didn't want to reveal party affiliation. Yeah, that's it exactly. It's nobody's business but mine what party I am more affiliated with. Anyone I want to share it with, good for me. Maybe I want to be affiliated with a party that basically disagrees with me and I don't even vote for any of their candidates. You know, it's my business. It's none of my neighbor's business what party I'm in. And I know some people seem to think they should be allowed to know. I know there are, and they're on the Republican side, but you know, I've read some comments that we need to have our city and school board elections be party affiliated in this state, just so we know whether we're at, so we don't accidentally elect Democrats to office. And I'm just thinking, elect the person. It doesn't matter what party they're in. If you disagree with them, don't vote for them. It doesn't matter what party they're in. Want to register as pasta party? Who doesn't like a good spaghetti dinner? Yeah. Voter registration, but no party registration. Yeah, I don't know much about Virginia. We don't have any kind of voter registration here in North Dakota. It's just whether you've been a resident for a certain number of months or not. And Margaret Christie says in the UK, you register as a voter, but not party. And I agree with that. Again, you know, I know part of the reason we register for party here is because of the primary elections. But really, what if this year I want to vote for the Republican primary because I'm more excited about that one? What if I want to vote in the Democrat primary because there's more people running for president in that one? I mean, I'm not big on the party labels. Unjuan Ekis, yeah, actually, I can't believe I've been going more than 2 hours. So that's probably why I had to refill my water. Pasta religion. Yeah, the flying spaghetti monster. Is that it? Yep, that is. Okay, thank you. Yeah, the flying spaghetti monster. That's where they wear the colander on their head. Yeah, that's an interesting religion. I like them because they really show off the foolishness of organized religion and the importance people place on it. Because, you know, really, you start looking at any religious myth and you say, let's see, Margaret Christie likes Chris Rapp's videos, and he does, I just lost your line. He does pen restorations as well as Eastern leaning. Yes, he is very knowledgeable. In fact, he just gave me some advice on my kitab and how I should have properly restored it and didn't. So, yeah, definitely a gentleman worth listening to. And Chris Rapp 52 points out North Dakota is the only state without voter registration. I think you are right. We are definitely unique in that aspect. Margaret Christie, I like old cars. New cars have built-in obsolescence because so much is computerized they cost a bomb to fix. Well, a 2000 Toyota Camry probably does have a lot of computerization in it, and it definitely is a bugger to fix. But yeah, I will stick with it as long as I can. It is working really well, and as long as it continues to work really well, I'm in no hurry to replace it. Now that I've got this roof, I've got the money to pay for this roof plus lots of extra. I am setting aside money for its replacement, but I will continue to set aside money for its replacement until that day comes that I replace it, because I'm in no hurry to do so. TJO Jones, I have an old 1998 Toyota for gardening and hauling my dog. It works great, but needs a new battery cable right now. Yeah, if I can have mine last that long, that would be awesome. I just replaced the battery itself, so hopefully I'm in good shape for a few more years. And Hair Kex, I think that's what they tries to do, but I think they wanted to save taxes with official rooms for their religion. Not sure though, but there was something with taxes going on. Might not be the one reason. Yeah, I don't know the situation in Germany. I know the German government funds, what is it, the Lutheran Church? Here in the United States, the government doesn't fund any church, but they get a lot of tax breaks. And that's been part of the lawsuits behind the Pastafarians, the Flying Spaghetti Monster, and the Blue Muffin, and a couple of the other religions. Satanists are big on it right now. It's just, let's treat all religions equally. And wait, you don't believe in the God we're used to. Yours is clearly a joke. And what's the difference? It's a made-up character, just like yours. So, yeah, kind of fun. And there's just something about the Flying Spaghetti Monster. It's just cool. Joel Terrell owns 7 Jags. Oh, that's a car. And the newest is 2006. Could drive any one ODF. I don't know what ODF means, but yeah, Pennsylvania to North Dakota is about 1,500 miles. I'm way on the other side of the state, so add another 360 miles to that probably. Terry Love in the UK, they have the Monster Raving Loony Party. Ooh, yeah, that sounds like a fun party to be in. Blue comes in from Austria, and drawing a blank there. Okay. I'm getting some practice for talking long term with I've got school starting in less than a month. Well, I guess about a month. So I got to get my voice in practice. So government does not fund the churches. They just register them as public rights cooperations, but they collect church taxes. Oh, for the Catholic Church. I guess I don't know the religious situation as much as I thought I did in Germany. I mean, I knew there were Catholics in Germany. I just thought that the Lutheran Church was more what they funded in Germany. But I could be thinking of a different country. That wouldn't surprise me even slightly. Margaret Krisky, don't know id Monster ID. Oh, Hairkeck says, my car's battery is almost 8 years old, but it still works. Risky, but I'll take the risk. A new one would be expensive because of a special one. Oh, inside the passenger bay. Yipe. Yeah, mine, I think mine was 10 or 11 years old. This spring it died, just boop, like I couldn't drive it. And I ended up, the garage came down here. They jump started it and they put a new battery in it. But yeah, it was super old. And I was just lucky it broke down in the driveway, not somewhere far, far away. But I should be good for a few more years. Stephen Finan says it's a rather complex situation in Germany regarding church and state. Yeah, I agree. I that's probably why I'm so confused, because I've tried to understand it. I know, and it could be one of the Scandinavian countries I'm thinking of. Now that I'm talking, I'm thinking maybe it is one of the Scandinavian countries that funds the Lutheran Church. Because I know that's part of why they, it was a YouTube video. It was an American pastor from one of those really super ultra evangelical Southern churches, went over to Scandinavia to their churches. And I just remember his mind was blown by the fact that these churches are performing marriages between two people of the same gender. And the reason they were doing it was because the government said, well, you have to, because, we fund you. So I wonder, I'll bet maybe I'm not thinking of Germany. I bet I'm thinking of a different country. But what was that video? It was interesting. Just and then the culture shock for this guy, even like small things, like right now, I'm not wearing any shoes because I'm inside. That's just my thing, is when you go indoors, you don't wear shoes. But this guy wore shoes into one of the apartments that he visited in the course of this video, and so like, oh, you can't do that. And he was kind of surprised by that. and it was just apparently bad manners in whatever country he was in. And I just thought, really? Who wears shoes into a house? But then again, I have had guests that wander through here in shoes. So whatever. Let's see here. Catholic, Lutheran, and Jew. Okay, maybe it's just a general religion tax that I'm thinking of in Germany. Like I said, I'm not an expert on Germany. I never been there. I've taught a few students from there. That's about, and I took a semester of German. That's about the extent of my knowledge. So, yeah, you're probably right. Okay, Terry Love has seen the video. Yeah, a lot of atheists. That's one thing in Europe, a lot more atheism than there is here. I think in the U.S., there's actually more atheism than people let on. It's just, at the moment, perhaps not socially acceptable everywhere. I mean, I live in one of those places where it's not socially acceptable. TJO Jones agrees with me. Yeah. Why do you track all that junk inside? I will, if I'm bringing groceries in, I have to make 2 or 3 trips. I'll bring my shoes as far as the kitchen, but then there they stay. There's gross things out there. I want my house to be my little shelter. Let's see. Joseph K. mentioned, yes, Martin Luther, and that might be why I've got Lutheran associated with Germany, because the Lutheran Church did start in Germany with Martin Luther nailing his 95 Theses or whatever it was to the church door. Don't remember what town. But anyway, that's probably what I'm thinking of. Interesting, it's only for those 3 religions. So apparently if you're a Muslim in Germany, you don't get tax money, or a Buddhist or a Hindu. And Terry Love points out that Japan has it right. Yes. Yeah, I just, ew. The outdoors is full of germs and dirt, and I go walk in my garden in my shoes, and I don't want to bring that back in here. If I'm a farmer, I've got cows and stuff, I definitely don't want to bring that back in. So, yeah, it definitely makes sense. Okay, Joseph K. points out, you tick if you want to pay church tax or not. That's interesting. Here in the United States, the churches depend on donations. And, no tax goes to them. Now, they do not get taxed, so they don't pay property tax or income tax or any other kind of tax. But, yeah, if I want to donate to a church or not, it's totally up to me, and it's totally by donation. It doesn't involve the government, which leads to some of those televangelists who have the big airplanes and things, or some of these mega churches, which is ew, because definitely goes beyond what I always thought of when I was more religious of what a church should be about, but whatever. Margaret Christie, my friend expressed concern about how I could cope without a religious faith. I was touched because there was absolutely no pressure in her tone of mystification, and I felt concerned. Yeah, I wish it would get more that way here. Here, it's almost like people are suspicious of you if you're not religious. I have to walk a fine line with that in school. I had some students ask about my religion. I finally had just say, none of your business, because I'm not getting into that discussion in school. So you don't need to pay those taxes to go to religion. That is interesting. Atheist Experience. Yeah, I've watched that a few times. Some episodes are better than others. It's interesting. Some of the people that call into that, and that some of my favorite hosts actually resigned recently. Like Tracy Harris was probably my favorite of all of them, and Jen, I forgot her last name. Jen something was another one I just really enjoyed, and they both resigned from the show over, some internal matters. But yeah, that's an interesting show to watch. And I think no matter what your religious beliefs are, I think it's good if you're open to questioning them and just looking at them from a different perspective. And that's what that show really did. Now, in Hair Kicks, you're bringing up something I want to say it was in Norway, where there's been a group recently trying, and maybe it's Norway that funds just the Lutheran Church, but in Norway, where they were publicized, there's a group trying to get people to actively withdraw from the church because you're just assumed to be part of the church unless you file otherwise, and then you pay a certain amount of your tax that goes toward the church. So I wonder if that's what I'm thinking of. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That is interesting. TJO Jones, it's been a long time, but when I taught some art, we couldn't say the word religion. I think, religion, especially in a class like art, religion is such a big part of art. If you talk about the Sistine Chapel, I mean, you would think it would kind of come up that, hey, look, this is a Catholic thing. You definitely don't, you have to walk that fine line of not proselytizing. And that's where I was annoyed, because I'm like teaching about Big Bang Theory and all that. And all of a sudden they're saying, what's your religion? It's just like, none of your business. I'm not going to get into this, because I know no matter what I say, I'm going to piss somebody off. But yeah, religion would be a topic that would come up, in art. I would think there's so much art that's just religiously oriented. History is another one. I don't know how you would teach history without talking about religion. Science, it's a lot easier to not talk about religion. I mean, some people say when you teach evolution or Big Bang, you're doing religion, but it's not. But yeah, I don't know how you'd teach art without religion. Maybe that's why I'm not an art teacher. Let's see. Terry Love says Norway or Sweden. I want to say Norway, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Margaret Christie. I work in debt service, and some people tithe, and also clients get help from their church, as it should be. It's not part of my culture, but I find both warm and troubling. Yeah. If you've got the money and you value the church, why not? I mean, I donate to different things. If I value a church, I'll donate to the church. If you have money trouble, I am troubled by, I don't know if you have it in the UK, but here in the United States, there are some churches which have what they call the prosperity gospel, which is what you give, you'll get back. And really what it does is put money in the pockets of rich preachers. And I have a big problem with that. But at the same time, there are a lot of churches that do a lot of good. I mean, go up to Fort Totten, North Dakota, which is on an Indian reservation, a very high poverty area. The Badachon Church has a food pantry. It has a clothes pantry, and they do a lot of good for the poor people up there. That's one of the places I donate money to. Yeah, that was, but at the same time, you see people giving when they can't afford to give. And no, look after yourself first. You can't look, excuse me, you can't look after others till you properly look after yourself. And Blue says Tracy Harris resigned. Yes, she did. There's a whole big controversy behind it. I don't know all the details. I just know that a whole bunch of the people that John Iacoletti, that Jen, whatever her name is, Phil Harris? A bunch of them. Anyway, a bunch of them resigned. Matt Delahunty is still there. Can't think. There's a couple others that are still there, but yeah, a bunch resigned over whatever was going on there. You'd have to ask somebody maybe from Austin who knows exactly what's going on. Herr Keck says, sounds familiar to the German system. Many people are in the church because their parents decided so when they were young. Yep. When you're born, if you're born in Saudi Arabia, you're probably going to be Muslim. If you're born in the United States, you're probably going to be Christian. If you're born in India, you're probably going to be Hindu. It's just where you're born, what your religion is, and you follow the religion of your parents usually. And T.G.O. Jones, yeah, that's true. Talking about art history is okay. Getting into your own beliefs, that gets dangerous, because then it, is it proselytizing, or is it, sharing a personal thing? And yeah, that's where the line should be drawn. And a lot of people can't draw it. They think, oh, I got to share Jesus with everybody, but no, you don't, because you're a public school teacher. And a lot of people just can't manage that line. Terry Love, some schools have religious education and others religious instruction. I actually would love to see religious education here. I think we should have a world religions course where you learn what all the different religions believe. What actually is a Muslim? What's a Hindu? What's a Mormon? And actually learn about them. Because a lot of people here in the United States are just ignorant of what a lot of other religions are. Actually, a lot of people here in the United States are ignorant of their own religion. When I have Methodists telling me that we have a 6,000-year-old earth, I go, well, no, that is totally not what your church believes. But probably some Sunday school teacher, some parent told them that. But yeah, a lot of people just don't understand their own church's beliefs, let alone other religions. And a lot of people have no idea how similar the Jewish and Muslim and Christian religions are. Look at the Quran and look at the Bible. I mean, oh my God, it's so similar. And people don't see it. They don't know it. So yeah, I would totally be on board with a religious education here in the United States. But I'm afraid in too many places in this country, it would turn into what you called religious instruction, which is Christian only. And that's not what public school's about. There was an attempt this year in North Dakota, actually, to introduce a bill to have schools offer a Bible class. Well, hello, what if I want a Quran class or a Book of Mormon class? Oh, so luckily that was voted down. Margaret Christie, big problem with any wealthy church, but also a philosophical issue with any gift based on the idea, you'll get it back. It's not a gift, it's a deal. Exactly. A lot of Christians have a big problem with that prosperity gospel. Orgies on the cutting room floor. Not on this cutting room floor. We won't talk about any other rooms. Ink Guy, I'm not religious, but I think it would be good for a bunch of people to have the moral guidance that came from religious attendance. I see a bunch of people who could use a bit of guidance. Well, it depends, I guess, on what part of the religion you take out. It's easy to be moral. You can be moral without religion, and you can be immoral with religion. I mean, religion is what flew airplanes into the Twin Towers in New York City in my country. So I don't necessarily see religion as the force for morality. Terry, Brian Stern says, let's not get stuck on religion. Agreed. Religion can religion can lead you down a rabbit hole, and you're going to piss somebody off no matter what you say. Margaret Christie, it's a shame it's hard to talk about faith. In one book, Terry, I'm guessing that's Terry Pratchett quotes an atheist an atheist witch. Wow. Okay, sorry. Quizzing a pastor about the absolute truth of his faith, and he equivocates. I don't know how you can be an atheist witch. I thought Wiccan was a religion. Okay, I'd probably have to read the book. That would be. But yeah, I'll tell you though, religion is fascinating. I don't care which one you get into; they are so interesting. Just the philosophy involved, the history involved, the culture involved. There's really a lot to religion. I don't care which one you get into; they're interesting. All right. Let's see. Look, everybody, in really cool fountain pen. There it is. Aurora 88 vintage. I have a modern one. I ink it up occasionally. I like it. But yeah, the vintage, it's like this is where they got everything right. And yeah, faded ebonite. But wow, what a pen. Okay, so it's in Discworld. I have to read Discworld. I have not read that yet. I just have to read it because, yeah, it apparently makes more sense in context. Herr Keck says his next pen is the Pelikan M1005. Yeah, this winter I was sorely tempted by an M1000, not a 1005, but an M1000. I found one that was pretty cheap. I was so close to pulling the trigger on it. I just said, "Oh, but really," and talked myself out of it. But yeah, they are nice pens. Brian Stearns is now needs a charger. Yeah, I had to get my charger earlier. I'm now up to 56% battery, so it's doing some good. And Big Black D. Terry Pratchett was a fantastic writer. I always wondered not what, but how much he smoked when writing. We won't ask what he was smoking, but I guess it's legal in Colorado now. Terry Love, Distraction. Oh, look, squirrel. Yeah, here I am. And Ink Guy, the M1005 release is pushed back till September. I guess that I did a video a long time ago. One of these where I'm feeling kind of holier than thou, I guess, but about do you have to buy the pen? But one of the things I said in the video that I still try to follow, put the pen in your shopping cart for a while and think about it. And a lot of times that, oh, I want, will die down. Back when I bought this Nikaya, I actually had placed an order several months earlier for it, and overnight I said, "Oh shoot, no!" And I was able to cancel it, but then I thought about it a lot for the next few months. I finally talked myself into it, and I think that's why I can enjoy this pen. I just the fact that I was able to cancel it and walk away from it, and yet it's cross-threaded. But then I was able to later come back to it and say, I want this pen. Apparently I'm getting a phone call. So I know who it is, so I'm going to hang up or end this stream, and I'm going to answer the phone call. So we'll see you later, really abruptly. Bye-bye. Hello? Hey!